It's showtime.
Hey guys, Django Fett here, Honey Games, Comics, TV shows, movies, and more, and this is a review for Dawn of the Jedi Into the Void. So this is a tie-in novel to the Dawn of the Jedi comic series and came out in 2013 and is set 25,793 years before the Battle of Yavin. Don't know why the years are so weird, but gotta take it for what it is. So this novel is written by Tim Levin. I'll get to more about him later on. But with narration, because I listened to the audiobook, and I'm able to get these reviews out quickly because I listen to the audiobooks, by January Lavoie. And she was fine in this. I don't think there are too many female audiobook narrators for Star Wars material, so it does make sense in this, since the main character is a woman. So in this story, it centers around a Jedi Ranger named Lannery Brock, who is summoned by Jedi Council in order to take down someone she would never expect, but we clearly saw coming. That's all I can say about this story without going into spoilers. Now, you're going to think to yourself that this is a tie-in in some way to the grand Dawn of the Jedi comic series and relevant to the series. But no, it really isn't. And it isn't until the tail end did I realize that this was a prequel to the comic series, because they didn't make it abundantly clear, and I thought it tied into the Prisoner of Bogan, or the first volume of the comic series. So I was dead wrong. This was its own story, but it barely connects with the comic series, which is a huge mistake. That is just one problem. Let me just get into many more, starting with this one. This book is littered to the brim with flashbacks, and every single one of them is randomly put into the story without any sense of ebb and flow. None. Listening to the audiobook is easy for me to get into what was flashback and what wasn't. But towards the end of the book, the last quarter of the book, I was lost and I couldn't make sense of it. And I can't even imagine a person actually reading the book, reading it in front of them, would feel with all the flashbacks, because I don't know how they separate out the flashbacks, or they just put them in together. I have no idea, because I didn't read the book. I listened to the audiobook, so it was kind of easier for me. But I feel like people who actually read it might be more lost than I would ever be. And I will say 3/4 way of the book, it was fine, and it was a story, I guess. But as Star Wars fans, we demand better, and not just half-assed, boring nonsense. And this book was just that. And it introduced a Darth Kreia story element that they just completely stole from. And just the story and the characters just sucked in this. There is not a single character that I liked in this. Not a single one was memorable or likable. And I gotta say this, but Jedi are meant to be boring, but not to this extent, because they are just utterly fucking boring in this book, and I guess in the series you could say as well. And a criticism that many people will lay to the prequels, that the Jedi, they're not just memorable and stuff. Read this book and you'll change your fucking mind. And the thing is, you can forgive a writer like Tim Levin because he hasn't done any Star Wars stories. But if you look at his bibliography works, he's done a lot of fantasy and science fiction. And a crap ton of books. So to not understand Star Wars and create a very boring story in the Star Wars universe is unforgivable to me. You have the experience to create something special, but you fucked it all up. Strike one and you're out. So I'm going to give Dawn of the Jedi Into the Void a... Now, there is one actually good positive to this story that I will give credit to. And it's for a story that he is not credited to, Tim Levin. It is a short story called Eruption, which is included into the book itself, and I was surprised it was actually included in the audiobook too. So it was great listening to the audiobook, this by the same narrator as well. You don't really see that too much. But it's called Eruption, and it's written by not Tim Levin, but John Ostrander. And you can already see a clear difference in quality from this to the main story. And also, apparently, I had no idea, but there's also another short story that Tim Levin actually created, so not looking forward to that. But it's called The Adventures of Lannery Brock, and is set in chapters 2 and 3 of the Into the Void book, and describes Lannery Brock's thoughts on her latest mission from the Jedi Council, which just sounds dumb and pointless. And I had to point this out, but Tim also wanted to do a trilogy on Lannery Brock, but thankfully, I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, but thankfully, the one good thing about the EU being cancelled is that this idiot doesn't do any more awful Star Wars stories. And I did actually end up rereading the Dawn of the Jedi comic series, the whole thing, volumes 1 to 3, thanks to the Epic Collection, Tales of the Jedi, volume 1. Fantastic, I must say. Volume 1, not very good, but volumes 2 and 3, they just so much better. It increases the story just tremendously. And yes, it does feel rushed towards the end, but at least they finished it, and I have to give them credit for it. John Ostrander, Jan Duursema did a phenomenal job with what they had and what they created, and you know, this is actually a must-read. I would highly recommend you get this and read this, and not so much even touch this, because this is just pointless. It's pointless to read, and it only references some characters that other characters you might not even know about, and they're not even main characters, just slight references, and that's all you get. And the book is frustrating. Just avoid this at all costs, and just stick to the Dawn of the Jedi comic series, because that is just so much freaking better, and had so much potential to be even greater at that point. So that was my review of the Dawn of the Jedi series. I've been meaning to get into the Dark Forces trilogy, but that will be my next, Star Wars book review. That will be my next one. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to please like this video, comment down below, tell me what you think of Dawn of the Jedi Into the Void if you've read it in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Django Fett, if you haven't already, and I'll see you, my fellow Mandoan, and brothers and sisters, next time. Oh, yeah!